Hey, I'm Angie. That's Rhonda. And we need to fix our pleated window shade. So today we are going to show you how to do that. Well, we sit back here all the time, so after lots and lots of use, the strings have broken on this, and now we've got to repair it. The tools, we're going to need a pair of scissors, a flat tip screwdriver for leverage, and a phillips screwdriver, and a pleated shade kit, which we bought off of Amazon. And the first step is to remove these little button things right here. Just a little nut on the back side. Extra string. And I'll do the same thing up there. On the back side of the shade, there's some clips, and I tried to maneuver these by hand, but they were a little tough. I thought it might be easier to actually take the valance off. So I don't think you really have to take that off, but I think it's just a little easier to hold the blind all the way up. Now you can see those tabs. Yeah, so this takes a lot of force to push this tab in. My hands don't quite have the strength, and then pull the blind down. Addendum to the tools needed. Set of channel locks. I couldn't get it with a screwdriver. These tabs are really stiff. So I'm just taking my pair of channel locks and just moving that off, bending that slightly. It pops down. Voila! And this comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of string, 5 20-foot cords, and some springs, and I don't know what you call the little plastic doodads that go down here. They give you really good instructions. These actually look pretty easy to use. And next step is to just pull off all the end caps here. And I've got a flat tip screwdriver. So there's one. I would say this would be easier if you had a bigger workstation, which we don't really. There's still a lot of snow outside, so it's... Next step is actually cut off the cord retainer, which is the plastic doohickey thing. You can pull out the string. Now I'm going to take the top rail off. So at the very top, there's a spring, and this particular shade has 4 cords. So there's 2 that come off of each side. So I'm gonna reuse the spring because it's still in good shape, and I'll save the others for just in case. But basically I'm gonna cut each of these off, and then I'm gonna attach some new cords to each end. Out with the old, on the new. Cords everywhere. Whee! So it says just to do a double knot in these, so that's pretty easy. I'm not the best knot person. Do a close-up on my bad knot tying here. Well, now the real fun begins. To not tangle all these cords. I am a master at that. So I have the spring, and I have 2 sets of string. Oops, one's just gonna pull out. Oh, that's not gonna work. Who did these knots? Gotta redo them. Crap. Rhonda, the master knot doer tire, is going to do this part for me. Round and over, and back, under and up, pull. And now you have a slip knot, and the more you pull on this, the tighter this knot will get. The directions said to use a double knot, but the double knot just pulls out. So find a knot that works for you in a way that's not going to pull out very easily. Or have a wife that used to be a sailor and lived on a boat for 8 years that is really good at knots. Okay, thank you Rhonda for taking over and doing the knots well. So now when I do this, they're not pulling out. That's what you want, because there's going to be a lot of tension on these. Now comes the fun part of restringing it. This goes on the top, and I've taken off the top rail, and then we've got This is where it gets a little challenging to try and keep them straight. So I'm going to put that one over there off to the side, and I'm going to put this one right on top of where that one's going to go through. And same thing on this side. Yeah. I'm going to put one of them right there on top of where another massive cluster of string is going to go over there. Alright, so now we know which one is going to go where.
Why do I feel like I'm going to be invited to help untangle string ties?
That is a distinct possibility. I mean, probability. It might be a little hard to see this in the camera, but the directions are really nice as far as giving you how these get strung in. So you've got one that comes around and they all cross down at the bottom. And so the one on the outside is going to cross through and come down the opposite side. So they're basically crossing at the bottom. Left side's going to the right side's going to the left side. So let the fun begin. First of all, I'm also going to take off the bottom rail. And kids, if you have a better workspace, I would definitely do that. Alright, so I'm going to take the outer one here. And I'm going to find the end. See, I told you. Alright, and now the fun part, if you have any sewing skills, I think you might be able to double these up together. Yeah. Way through. Okay, one down. 3 to go. In this case, the end's getting a little frayed and a little hard to push through, so I'm just going to cut it off again. Alright, same thing on this side. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and stick the rails back on. I'm going to put the top rail on first, and the channel is going to go over top of the spring. Okay, this won't be as hard if you have a bigger space to do this, I promise. Okay, before I put the bottom rail on, I'm going to cross these over, attempting to not do this all tangled up. Because you see how this is going already for me? And I think at this point I can cut off a bunch of this. Alright, so that one goes over here. And this one goes over here. And I'm going to cut some of the, well, maybe I won't. I'm afraid to cut too much off. Yep. So just deal with the fact that you got cords everywhere. Especially because you'll need more when these are open. Alright, same with these, crossing them over here, that way. And this way. Alright, so now I am going to cut some off because it's ridiculous how much there is that I can get tangled up. Alright, so we put the caps in the top already. Nothing exciting to see there. And these go through the little hole. Alright, then I can put this end cap back in. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and clip these back into place now. little bit of a trick as far as kind of moving this down and then back in. There's a lip here and the forward part of the bracket fits into there. And then just got to push up after that to lock that into place. And I'll do the center one and we'll be good. All right, next step is to take the string retainers, and then there's a standoff, and I'm going to put this together with the strings. So I'm basically going to just take this side, and there's kind of a center where the screw goes in, and I'm just going to put one of those on each side like that. And then this is grooved, so these grooves go in the open spot there, just like that. And that's got to pull that back and forth, and then we'll go ahead and screw those back in. So at this point, I'm just going to pull those through. I'm going to kind of go back and forth to each side just to get the tension on these. Just kind of get those up to where you want them to be. All right, well, I've got the tension where I want them just by going back and forth and making sure these were tight through here, and I'll go back and tighten these standoffs and the holders. And so now we're just going to do a knot at the end here. Tighten these up. Pulling that at the edge. And we'll do the same thing over here. Alright, we have a working shade again. I've been flopping this around for a while. Well, if this helped you out, please give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video. And if you have any easier ways of doing this, please put that in the comments below too.